German Chancellor Angela Merkel is calling it a comprehensive plan. World leaders gathering in Berlin agreed on a final communique on Libya just a short while ago. The German capital hosting a conference aimed at securing peace in the North African country. CGTN's Ira Spitzer is live in Berlin with the latest. Ira?
Well, the major developments out of the Libya conference here in Berlin appear to be what we heard from Chancellor Angela Merkel just a short time ago, saying that she'd extracted a commitment from the participants here to respect the United Nations arms embargo in Libya, and for these outside countries to refrain from foreign interference. Now, the group of world leaders in Berlin was pretty significant. Russian President Vladimir Putin was here, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the UK's Prime Minister Boris Johnson, and many other important figures. And what I think this really shows, for one, is just how internationalized this conflict has become, that you have this tremendous push from the outside to try and kickstart this peace process. But, well, we did have that commitment. What we didn't have here was a signed ceasefire agreement between the rival Libyan factions of the UN-backed government in Tripoli and the opposition, the rebel leader Khalifa Haftar. He did not sit down, actually, with his counterpart from the Libyan government, despite them both being in Berlin. So, well, there may be a commitment to supposedly reduce the foreign interference in the conflict from countries such as Turkey and Russia. What we don't have is a comprehensive ceasefire plan, which many had seen as the goal and the hope of the Berlin talks. So kind of a mixed bag, I think, at least from what we know initially there.
Ira, any suggestion from Chancellor Merkel how this agreement could be enforced? I mean, just last month you had the Turkish parliament approving plans to send Turkish troops to Libya to support the Saudi-backed government, to support the internationally backed government there in Tripoli. You have other players like Russia supporting the LNA. How will they enforce this?
Well, that's a very difficult question, of course, how to actually enforce this situation. Of course, countries can say that they intend to stop sending weapons into the conflict, but what actually happens on the ground is perhaps a different story. I think what we did start to see, especially today in Berlin, was more commitment from the European side to certainly to become engaged in trying to broker peace, as well as in the event of a ceasefire to commit some resources on the ground, people to monitor the ceasefire. We heard UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson say that when he arrived. We also heard the German Defense Minister say that. So we do have that, but in terms of actually monitoring the weapons, that's a very difficult question.
All right, Ira Spitzer live for us in Berlin. Thank you.